Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Stylosa and I'm going to break down everything you need to know for the Overwatch League Grand Finals. Massive thanks to the Overwatch League for sponsoring this video and making it possible. And I'm also going to focus on 4 teams from the Atlantic North Division and break down their season. So let's do this. Let's begin with the London Spitfire, the Overwatch League team that I actually support. So check this out. Spitfire had a rough year with a major roster reshuffle to bring in new talent, but it was also a fantastic chance for some new talent to flex a little.
Bernard now playing around the front, trying to get some protection coming through. Gets a perfect stun. Absolutely beautiful play from Bernard on the Sigma, which has been so close.
Glister certainly stepped up to the plate and was the standout player for the team, a name worth remembering for the future. A few things plagued the team overall, however, constantly changing meta and a huge roster of players that frequently got swapped during a series might have led to a few issues. Performances were at best inconsistent, and any momentum the team could build would be lost when the players were swapped in and out. Even looking through the statistics is telling on London's players. Things like Fuse showing good stats on Brigitte or Glister holding records for solo kills on a few different maps this season, suggesting good but not great at best, reaching at worst, with players making huge splashes in Season 1. It's a little disappointing not to see the same again now.
Moving in, you would expect. Just have to finish getting these members away from Glister. Managed to find 2. Both supports going to be taken out. Battle gets rid of save Yomi. Suddenly this is winnable. Krillin gets another one. They take down Mono. Anyone? Can they even tag the cart? I don't think they can.
I don't think so.
It's a full hold.
Unlucky timing on that one. Glister.
At the end of the day, this is almost entirely new blood to the Overwatch League. So standing toe-to-toe with some veterans isn't strictly awful, but being a London Spitfire fan during this season certainly wasn't easy. Unlike previous seasons, London couldn't find its footing at the crucial end of season run, with a rough schedule against a number of teams that were hitting their stride like Seoul and the Shanghai Dragons. Next season could see this rookie talent develop further, or even more big changes as Spitfire shift their approach once more. Only time will tell.
It's going to be the melee hit coming through from J-Mac that does the deed. Just a little bit more to clear this point off. The bomb will be the thing delaying. They'll go ahead, hack him out, focus fire him down. Tuyu tries to get there in time, cannot.
Next up, let's take a look at the Toronto Defiant. What might be one of the most international teams in the entire league. Toronto pulls talent from multiple regions. A lot of names on this team have been competing since the beta of Overwatch, but with a finish relatively low in the rankings, questions have to be asked about the future.
Again, the grass is going to be creating some space here. The Holt pulls them forward. That is some beautiful timing. The Holt, the Dynamite, the Dash, it all came together. That much burst damage. No one can really stand up to that.
Toronto certainly had a rough start to the season and, being honest, not a great finish either. While they could go blow to blow with a lot of middle-of-the-pack teams in the league, their games against teams topping the leaderboards were less than stellar. Toronto boasts one of the highest number of 3-0 games in the entire 2020 season. Unfortunately, 9 out of 10 of those 3-0s are losses. Silver linings could definitely be found towards the end of the season, with Toronto having occasional breakouts, mostly on the back of star DPS Agilities, whose Genji could lead the team to victory. He boasted the highest number of solo kills on Genji in the league.
He's got a Mentality Field in his back as well. One slice will do so much damage and kill Immo Field as well. There's 3 kills for Agilities. Make that a 4th as he resets through OG. 5 kills for Agilities. Anubis just seems to be his map man.
The Defiant favoured any fast-paced game with Logics and Agilities on the fore, but unfortunately could only really match what the top teams were managing and rarely surpass them. It isn't all DPS either. Kariv was a backline support with explosive potential, holding some of the best healing stats in the league. But in a season that's favoured aggression and rapid kills, the Defiant have struggled. Finishing 15th in the league and leaving the playoffs early in a close match against the Gladiators, Toronto suffered from a few issues. A slow season start, a lack of strong sniper hit scan presence compared to powerhouses like Carpe, KSP or Birdring, and the meta generally not supporting a super dive heavy playstyle until far too late. The Defiant can either hope to teach their old dogs new tricks, wait for the meta to come around, or make changes for next season.
Jumping up, but is anyone even going to touch here? Agilities gets the kill onto Shockwave as well, makes it a 3rd. And Shockwave trying his best to get fined, but luckily the filter takes him out. As Agilities pumps in the necessary damage to close out and clinch up that map. Toronto Defiant, great showcase.
The Paris Eternal were one of the unexpected stars of this season. This season, the team developed a mixed Korean and French roster to spectacular results. What was a low to middle of the pack team in Season 2 suddenly could take games off everyone.
They're going to open a flux.
Yeah, and Blongo as well. The Immortality Field dies, and Sparkle! Oh my word. I mean, we see it a lot, okay? But 3 kills, 1 slash? Oh, that's what you want to see in a highlight reel.
The big question was, could Paris mix together a French and Korean team to build one super roster? They took talent from the Korean team Element Mystic, added that to their existing Western players. Would this work? That was the big question. The rocky start might have formed something fantastic in team spirit. However, the French players coming out in defense and solidarity with their new teammates, once the results started going in their favor and potential language issues started to melt away, Paris started finding their stride. Good early results against one of the breakout teams of this season, Philadelphia Fusion, made sure that nobody was sleeping on Paris. The team's momentum came to a head when taking the Summer Showdown with back-to-back close series against San Francisco Shock and Philly before taking the crown. The addition of a strong rookie was a big reason for the Eternals' success this season. Korean player Sparkle, statistics on Genji speak for themselves. With the league's top final blows per 10 minutes at 11.6, highest eliminations per 10 minutes at 23.4, top hero damage per 10 minutes 9,570, Paris might have the deadliest blade in the league. He boasts one of the few flatter deadlifts in the league, where one player has 50% of the team's final blows in a map win, scoring 28 out of 52 final blows versus the Washington Justice on Hanamura in week 26.
Qui dégaine sa lame et qui s'offre un triplé ici. Pourquoi pas le quadruplé? Les paris éternels qui vont peut-être le faire. C'est pas encore terminé, mais on est bien parti.
He's pretty good. Remember his name, even if there's a 9 in the middle of it. Combined with NYXL, who boasts some of the top hit stance stats on Widow and McCree, the duo was formidable. NYXL was notably able to clutch out fights and keep a level head, a talent highly prized in any esport. It wasn't just Korean talent making a splash. Fan favourites Soon and FD God showed us a lethal Sombra and one of the most solid support brigs, respectively, which enabled their front line to play as high tempo as they did. FD God's lethal performances on Lucio also meant that Paris was a terror on any map with environmental pitfalls.
Getting maximum value, what they were looking for. They're trying to find a pick or two. Are you kidding me? Another big boom coming out from FD God. Hanbin stole it from the kill feed, but it matters not. FD God, what a clinic.
Ultimately, in the playoffs, Paris lost some momentum, getting knocked out by the Washington Justice, who were making their own Cinderella run. The team is no doubt pleased with the season as a whole, however, as they silenced a number of skeptics and proved themselves a team to watch out for next season. As distasteful as this is for a Brit to praise Frenchman, the Paris Eternal did a pretty good job this season, and they are definitely the strongest team in Europe. Season 1 was meant to be theirs. They had all the best records, all the momentum, everything, and it got away. Let's talk the NYXL. Season 2 was much more difficult, with a transition into GOATs leaving the NYXL in a rocky place and Vancouver Titans stealing the spotlight in the season early on. The NYXL entered Season 3 with a lot to prove. One of the most stable teams in the league with few roster changes, there's no room for excuses.
The F Matrix comes out first. Oh, Void! Take it down before the Flux can do anything. The Flux thrown into the abyss. And the New York Excelsior with a one-man advantage, moving forward. Flutta looking awfully low. And here comes Hoxel, the cleanup crew in progress, slicing away. And New York going to be heading into point B.
And unfortunately, the NYXL continues to stand in the shadow of their former glory. It might be unfair to say finishing 7th place in the league this season isn't the worst, but that shadow of expectation comes to loom large over the NYXL. What's great for other teams is expected of them, and so a season with scattered wins and losses might leave the fans feeling a little deflated. I don't know about you, but I've always gone into NYXL games expecting something incredible, and they don't quite deliver like they used to. But maybe that's just me. But it isn't all bad, not in the slightest. The team has stood strong in the past, and there's no doubt the players are hungry for it, especially with the addition of one of the strongest Genji players in the league with NYXL, 2019 Rookie of the Year, joining the already strong lineup. Not to mention Jonak still rates the highest damage per 10 minutes in the league on both Ana and Zenyatta.
Yeah, who are you actually catches
Who
up?
are you? Nice deflect. Oh! Takes down Jinbu, stops the blade of his own. I'd say Overwatch League is an anime, but that was pretty close.
Mano still one of the most terrifying tanks in the league, but rapidly changing metas, and a lot of them favoring other teams left them looking relatively weak. Questions were certainly being raised during the playoffs as Zenyatta started to re-emerge in the meta, but NYXL avoided using him. The best guess is coming down to lack of superstar Tracer, as Tracer versus Tracer is vital in stopping her from rampaging through your backline. Long-time fans might be clamoring for the return of Sabiolbi, but it feels like his time might have passed, while Profit only seems to get better and better. It's these kind of inflexibilities and gaps that left the NYXL looking off balance, just like they were in Season 2 with GOATs. Managing to play the Shanghai Dragons, one of the favourites to take the entire season in a surprisingly close playoff match, might have renewed some faith in the former super team. There's no doubt that NYXL has had the players to succeed, or that maybe 1 or 2 good pickups ahead of next season can't give the team some new life, but 7th place doesn't feel right for the one-time Giants. They're far from bad, but good just does not suit NYXL. Here's hoping they find a way back to the top again next season. There's no getting around it. Boston had a rough 2020 season. A win-loss record of 2-19 in the regular season, and 1 win in the playoffs says a lot. It's far from the whole story, but 2020 might be the year Boston Uprising fans would like to forget. The tragedy of Boston Uprising is that it often felt like they just needed that little bit of momentum, that key few wins just to get the team rolling again. Early in the year, Uprising had flashes of potential, with the May tournament showcasing a close match against Paris, and even doing so again in the run-up to the Summer Showdown. Surely, if they can play Paris close, they can pick themselves up and collect some wins, and save a little face. As a whole, Boston has always been a little bit of an outlier team, with a tradition of scouting and signing up-and-coming talent from all over and trading them up over time. It's a risky strategy, as not all investments will pay off. While pickups like Jerry and Myungbong should push the team off the bottom of the league, the reality is that things didn't come together, and neither do the statistics. Highly anticipated newcomers Myungbong and Jerry fell into the middle of the pack quite often, although there's something to be said for putting in that kind of performance on a team that loses so often. The frustrating part about Boston was that it's possible to say good things about a lot of their players. Fusions was a proven team leader and tank, Myungbong a known star from Korean team O2 Blast, Punk a solid off-tank, and so on. Yet somehow it still hasn't come together at all. Boston might be remembered this year for a relatively unique achievement at least. The league's competition to build a perfect postseason bracket for $100,000 was shattered early by the team in a surprise 3-1 win versus the Houston Outlaws. Ultimately, the fact that in 2020 the Boston Uprising won 3 matches says everything. Debates on whether major shakeups are needed continue, but considering Boston's knack for trading talent around, it's not impossible to see Boston trade some of their more proven talent, such as Jerry or Fusions, for more new players. Plus, look at it this way. Shanghai went winless in 2018. Now they might just win 2020. So let's talk about the teams that actually made it to the Overwatch League Grand Finals. We've got the Philadelphia Fusion, the Seoul Dynasty, the Shanghai Dragons, and the San Francisco Shock, who are the reigning champions. So for Philadelphia, well, they've had a really strong season. They have actually finished rank 1 in North America. They've got insane players like Carpe on DPS, but also incredible young supports like Funny Astro and Alarm. And remember, they reverse swept the Los Angeles Gladiators. They made the Summer Showdown finals, but lost to Paris in 7 maps. And players to watch out for here are definitely Ivy on Genji, Carpe, and Alarm. The Seoul Dynasty, oh my lord, this team is really strong. The addition of Profit and Gesture from the London Spitfire, who are actually, champions of the Overwatch League back in 2018. And don't forget Badosin as well. He also plays on this roster. They are super strong. They had a very strong start, but they kind of struggled with some meta changes throughout the season. However, they took the Seoul Dynasty to an incredible close match in Week 14 of the league. Prophet is probably the star player on this team. Go and watch this guy play. He's incredible. The Shanghai Dragons, they have one of the deepest and most versatile teams in the entire Asia-Pacific region. Now, this roster has a mix of veterans like Fletter and Void and rookie talent like Lip and Lee Jae-gon. They also have Fletter, who is the league MVP. He is one of the best combined DPS talents in the entire world. This player can play everything to the highest possible level. Fletter's dominance and flexibility on Overwatch heroes, including Tracer, Echo, and other damage heroes, helped Shanghai advance through the Asia region into the Overwatch League's grand finals. And there, they will be joined by the Philadelphia Fusion, the San Francisco Shock, and the Seoul Dynasty. The San Francisco Shock, well, these guys are the defending champs, and they are really, really strong. They have an incredible ability to adapt in the game. They will change to what the enemy team is doing, and often they download them, they work them out, and then they start destroying them. This team is super scary. However, they did lose the 2019 MVP, Sinatra. This was a big blow for Shock, but they've been able to rely on the depth of roster and new signings to, well, kind of forget about Sinatra, which is incredible. Oh, and also in Week 25 of the Overwatch League, they kind of beat Vancouver in what was the shortest match in AL history. The 4 remaining teams all look fantastic this year, with Shanghai, Philly, Seoul, and the Shock. And the meta is ripe for some huge individual playmaking and brilliant Overwatch. There's no clear single team running rampant this year, no obvious choice for who will come out on top. Shanghai Dragons might just be the favourites, but Philly have also had a monstrous season and don't want to come second again. Shock are proven champions, and Seoul are hitting their stride. And last time Prophet and Gesture hit their stride, well, they won the Overwatch League. Thank you to the Overwatch League for sponsoring this video and making it possible. And remember, fans will get to take home the Overwatch League Tracer home and away skins and an exclusive Grand Finals Tracer spray. Fans will also be able to earn tokens to use in-game on things like the brand new All-Stars 2020 Legendary skins, all from the OverwatchLeague.com homepage and mobile app. So why don't you watch with me, because it all goes down on October the 10th, 9 AM Eastern Standard Time, only on youtube.com/Overwatch League. Thank you once again, guys, for watching the video. I hope I've given you all of the information you need to check out the Overwatch League Grand Finals. Remember, you can follow me on everything, which is @Stylosa, on Twitter, on Instagram, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Toodaloo.